All right, all right.
Right.
Sound check.
Sound check.
Mic's good.
Mic check.
All right.
All right.
1 2 1 2.
1 2 1 3.
What?
What?
Where'd the 3 come from?
I don't know.
Stop
I'm
it!
sorry, man. I have a lot of candy around me.
He does. He has what? Sour stripes?
Sour strips.
Strips?
And then a ghost. Sour
And then a
patch.
ghost
I don't
energy
know.
drink.
I'm still very tired.
He's trying to die through
tired.
what's that? What's that movie with Jason Statham? The one we always talk about?
Which one?
Where he's like hopped up on adrenaline?
Crank?
Crank.
Yeah, where he's on
Lynn's gonna be like Crank.
he's on that drug, so he has to use epinephrine.
Yeah, no.
It's the artificial adrenaline where he injects it into his leg and then he has like a raging boner and he's running down the street.
An EpiPen, I guess that would be. Yeah. So if you see somebody on the news in a hospital gown,
no, that's
running
not me.
down the street
That's
with
not
a
me.
boner.
No, that's not me.
I was chasing ghosts.
Ew. No.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
This is D.
This is Lynn.
We're Project Airwaves.
We are.
We're back at it again.
Again and again.
We just won't stop.
Oh, jeez.
You might want us to, but we can't. There's a fly in here.
Is there?
It just landed on the back
You know what?
of my
It came
computer.
in when we came in.
It came in with Lynn.
Yes,
I saw it.
that's
It
my
was
fault.
floating around his head.
It's because it's so freaking humid out
You're
there.
like the kid from Naruto with the bugs.
What? What kid has bugs?
The kid with the bugs from Naruto.
Oh, yeah. It's like underneath his coat.
Yeah, his little trench coaty thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
What we going on today? Oh, what?
Duh.
What do we got going on today?
What we got going on today? We're going to keep it short and sweet. We say that, and then it turns out to be 30, 45
Monologue.
minutes long. We're going to try and keep it short today. We're just going to cover some interesting events that have caught our attention lately. There's no specific time frame because, as you know, we try to be current, and then stuff happens, and then we end up falling behind. So
Yes.
we're just going to talk about what's interesting us right now. So one of the first things I at least wanted to bring up, because it was very interesting, was the whole Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos going into space and all that shenanigans.
Virgin Mobile versus Amazon Prime.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
That sounds
You know what this
sounds like Transformers.
You know what that would be great on? Celebrity Deathmatch. Do you remember that? For those of you who were born in the late 80s, early 90s, MTV had a late night show. It was amazing, called Celebrity Deathmatch. You might be able to find it on YouTube, a few clips here and there. It was a claymation, and it literally was what it sounded like. They would have, claymate.
That was that Spike TV or was it MTV?
No, that was MTV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
it was
remember that.
great.
Yeah.
It was great. If you ask anybody who watched that show, if you happen to unfortunately miss that time in life where things were amazing, Celebrity Deathmatch was hilarious. Okay, check it out. So the thing was there was this big. It was funny. It was like these two were right before a UFC fight, how they have the two come together and they get face to face. They mean mug each other. The poses
For the
weigh-in.
the weigh-ins, yeah.
So it was kind of like they were doing that, but kind of like, from a distance, because Mr. Branson was like, oh, I'm going to get there first. Jeff Bezos was like, well, you're not clearing, this line, which is officially space.
Well, I don't even know what would be the rules of that, because I feel like
there are none.
Since space is just vast amount of
Yes.
uncharted territory.
Yes.
That just a little clip that you showed me, but pretty much how they're trying to colonize space by giving it within the next year. They're going to have people that can pay to be guests to go fly up there.
You can now, they are working on finding ways to make people tourists in space. And while that sounds cool, we've seen this in movies and things like that. It makes me nervous too, because it's like, okay, you always hear that saying, in space, nobody can hear you scream.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, like, so if something goes wrong, I'm kind of stuck. Like I'm stuck in space with me and however many group of people. But on top of that, you already know it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
I think one guy bought a ticket because it was either Branson or Bezos was selling tickets.
Yeah.
They were super expensive. They were like a few billion dollars. One guy bought a ticket, decided he didn't want to go, and then gave it to like some 18-year-old kid or something.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He paid a few $1 billion for this ticket. This chance.
I figured because it's the first trials and it costs millions of dollars just to build a rocket, let alone the only person right now that's actually making rockets that are reusable is
Tesla. Yep.
Elon Musk, exactly.
Yep. With
about it being able to. What are they doing?
What's it called? SpaceX program.
Yeah.
They're launching satellites, at least as far as Tesla goes. From what I understand, they're launching satellites into space using their personal.
Well, because it runs off on a battery charge, on a solar charge. So they're pretty much the rocket that he sent up to space that had one of his personal Teslas attached to
Roadster.
it. Yeah, the Roadster, and it's got his car on it.
That was
with a little spaceman.
Yeah,
he was saying, when I remember hearing him on one of the podcasts, many podcasts I listened to.
Many.
He was stating that I drew a blank.
Oh,
I'm very tired. I literally, what was I saying?
you were talking about
Oh,
Elon?
yes. Being able to recharge the rocket when they're back up in space. Kind of refuel and then bring it back.
Kind of, yeah.
Because what happens is you see how when rockets break off, the major load of it breaks off halfway
the
in the
fuel
atmosphere.
cells.
Yeah, snaps off, and then the ship itself is flying out on its own, and it's not necessarily propulsioning itself up anymore. It's just gravity pulling it into a different way. So it's taking it out.
It's propelling itself at that point,
what Musk was saying is that they wanted to make it to where one of these satellites or what have you has a kinetic charge to hold or pull whatever object is going towards it, like a spaceship, recharge it, and then slingshot it back into the atmosphere.
That sounds badass.
That way you can reuse the same thing without having to burn through anything.
That sounds badass.
Yeah. I feel like it's cool. I mean, I wouldn't say that he wasn't capable of doing it.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Well, see, that reminds me of, have you seen, it's on, I want to say it's on Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's called Love, Death, and Robots.
I have definitely seen Love,
Did you see the episode where the guy went into space with his crew and they like went way off course? So he thought he was in like some distant outpost in space.
No,
but really he
there's
was in the
so many
alien
different
trap.
ones, and I can't. Which was that? The newer season?
No, it was in the first season. It was in the first season. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, they went through this. It was almost like watching, what was that game? What was that game where you're Shepherd?
Shepherd.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're gonna kill me with this.
I know.
He has a crew of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
They made a remake of it. There's like 3 of them out right now.
Yeah.
Damn it, dude. Why would you give me that?
I'm so sorry.
Because that's one game that I never played.
Damn it. It's like 1 or 2 words. I don't remember. I want to call it Half-Life. It's not Half-Life.
No.
People are going to be very upset that we don't know this.
Mass Effect.
There
you go. I had to research that shit.
So in Mass Effect, when they're about to go to a different star system, they get next to this thing that looks like a Halo gun, if you ask me, and it slingshots them.
Yeah, so that's an actual concept.
So
of it,
in Love, Death, and Robots, there's an episode like that where they get slingshot. They're just like, almost looks like they're in traffic. So they're in line and it's their turn to get shot. So they go into their little cryo sleep. Dude wakes up. He's met by this girl, long and short of it, and she's like, "You guys went way off course. You're like at this outpost that's X amount of light years from your destination." So skip towards the end, he finds out that she's not who she says she is. And at the very, very end, it gives you a flash where it looks like his spaceship is docked at a outpost, but really,
wait a minute,
alien trap.
Yeah. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah.
Damn, that's old as fuck.
That's
now that you're
that's the
it.
stuff that goes through my head. And then of course Alien, Predator,
one more thing from Love, Death, and Robot. You remember the farmers when they're on that land and they're crop-ing the entire world.
Dude, it was
and those
so
aliens
sick.
are just ripping it apart.
And they're just in like these weird Gundam-looking things. Dude, Love, Death, and Robots. If you guys get a chance, it is very adult. It is very graphic, but damn it, it's beautiful.
Very fantastic.
Every episode, start to finish, beautiful. But pretty much these are the things that cross my mind. Starship Troopers. What is it? Interstellar.
Well, let's think about it like this. A lot of the movies, and they depict people's curiosity for what they want to see.
Yes, exactly.
Space is such a dense vacuum that there's nowhere that they're... the thing is that they're trying to colonize out in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
Most of these things take place as if they were landing on a planet.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
some of them...
no planetorial landing. Like, they're not going to Mars. They're not going to the moon.
Unless you watch Solaris. Solaris is old school.
Solaris.
It has George Clooney. It is...
So George Clooney's gone to space more than once? Because I remember that movie he did with Sandra Bullock.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where they're just literally working on a space station.
Well, it wasn't called Oxygen.
No.
It was called something else. I love that movie, though.
It was that was a really good movie.
So, then Solaris, they're on the space station, and they're at a planet called Solaris. There's this alien entity that comes over and, like,
see, there you go. It's
manifests your wildest desires or who you want to see. No, but they didn't land. They were just there.
Gotta quit being skeptical.
They were shut up.
Wait for them to land. Moving forward.
Think about these things. So, kind of like Lynn was saying, how in film and maybe even cartoons, we see stuff we want to see. So, the reason I wanted to bring this up was, all of us have seen The Simpsons.
Oh yeah.
And there's been this speculation: is can The Simpsons, or have they predicted the future 13, 20, however many odd years in advance? So, if you're not aware of this, check it out on YouTube, look it up on the internet. Simpsons predict the future. So in one of their episodes, it shows Mr. I'm going to keep looking at his name because I can't remember. I can remember Jeff Bezos, but I can't remember this other guy.
Richard Branson.
Mr. Branson. It shows Richard Branson's floating in space outside of the Earth. And it was funny because Branson and Bezos were having this race, and Branson made it to space first. And so people were kind of going, you know, that's odd because what was it? They predicted Trump, you said?
No, what do you mean? Trump?
Simpsons?
Oh, with the whole escalator thing?
Yeah, with the whole walking off
the way that he
Air Force
waves.
One.
Yeah, the way that he waves and everything like that.
Some people say they predicted 9/11, things like that. So it's just crazy how, you know, it was like, everybody was like, yeah, space race. And then you're like, no, Simpsons already figured it out. They knew that was happening. It was just crazy, you know, stuff to speculate on. Things that make you go, interesting.
Yeah.
Jumping into our next topic. What you got for us, Lynn?
We're going to touch base on wildfires and water levels.
Oof.
You want to hit wildfires first?
Oof. Okay.
So actually, yeah, we earlier today, we went to go test drive the drone that we got.
It was amazing.
It's a fucking mess. D is more optimistic than I am when it comes to this
There'll
shit.
be outtakes.
Yes. Very optimistic. I was so frustrated because the humidity right now is 35, so which
garbage.
For Vegas, that's like it never gets that high.
Terrible.
It normally rocks within like maybe 1 to 2%. For it being 35%, it's just I had showered, gotten outside, and I was already dripping
Waste
sweat.
of time.
Yeah, we were out there for an hour flying the drone, and the drone's like, it stays stagnant, and then it flies to the right, and it flies to the left. I start it, or D starts it, and then we're like, okay, we're going to have it fly forward. And all of a sudden, it just starts chasing after me. So I'm running away from it into a playground while people are just walking their dogs and looking at us, screaming, land the fucking drone.
Right, he's like, put it down.
And it's flying faster than me. And it's the thing with this drone is that the minute that you tilt it one direction and it picks up
just
speed,
goes.
you can't stop it from going that way. So it just keeps crashing into shit.
Go speed racer.
We finally got a way to
drone.
get it to start flying around, and then I fucking yeeted it into a tree.
2 trees.
And yeah, 2 trees.
The first tree felt bad for us and gave us the drone back. The second tree was like, nah.
It got stuck
I'm gonna
in
hold
the
on to
fucking
this.
tree, and I was
so
looking at
we have water bottles.
Yeah,
okay?
I was gonna climb that tree and get it.
Yeah, initially we were gonna climb the tree, and I was like, Lynn, we're not climbing this tree. It was, I would say, a good 10, 12 feet up. And so we're throwing our water bottles into the tree.
Oh, the lady, yeah.
And this lady walking her 2 dogs, she's like, are you guys trying to get a cat?
Yeah,
And
she
we're
goes,
like,
are you guys hitting a cat? I'm like, no. And she starts laughing and power walks away really fast. Okay, just making sure you're not trying to hurt a cat. And I'm like, no, I'm not chucking water bottles at a cat in a tree.
That was fun, though. So the reason weather has come up because, you know, there's a big talk about climate change and global warming and yada, yada. That topic it's always been a hot button topic of discussion for centuries, generations. Pretty much since major manufacturing plants and nuclear plants and all that, you know.
Did we talk about this before? About what the main thing that's causing the what are the spheres? There's like 3 different levels of atmospheres. Homosphere. And
so you have the upper ionosphere, the troposphere, and the atmosphere.
Yeah, like so the atmosphere is getting ripped up by carbon monoxide, and the carbon monoxide it's from cows. It's literally from animals reducing
so
enough.
Stupid.
It's supposedly a thing that it's
producing a bunch of CO2,
and it's literally burning a hole into it. That's like a small freckle. So the reason why it's getting so hot is because the sun is piercing through that atmosphere.
Well, see, when me and you were younger, it was the aerosol. It was don't so anytime you spray air freshener, we just bought a can of Lysol.
I didn't know that.
I forget what the terminology for the chemical that was in it, but it's all these aerosols that are releasing all of these particulates into the air, and they're eating the ozone layer up. And by the time it's this year, we'll no longer have an ozone, and the oxygen.
I didn't know it was about the aerosols.
It's always something, and the problem is, no matter what may be the cause, the thing is nothing's being done to fix it. We already know that automobiles, manufacturing plants, power plants, where they make solar panels, like making solar panels is an extremely toxic process. Even the byproducts are just horrifically toxic. We bury radioactive waste? We bury it in the ground, so it just gets to sit there. Yay. We have places like Chernobyl, which are still so radioactive. People to this day can't live there.
What is it called? The elephant's foot?
No.
It's in Chernobyl. I mean, I researched it because I'm a big horror nut. But in Chernobyl, when the core erupted, it was like 1983 or something like that, in Russia, and they had evacuated and everything. It wasn't the explosion of the core erupting that killed a bunch of people. It's people that wanted to stay inside the city.
It was the aftermath.
It's the radioactivity where they're having like radioactive dogs. Like pretty much turning like dire wolves and shit like that. So they started making like horror movies and stuff like that. But in Chernobyl, at the center of the core, there's something called the elephant's foot, and it's this giant fucking mass that's so huge that when they came in to kind of try to like de-radiate the area, they started getting towards where the radiation was spiking the highest, and the core had melted into a puddle and turned into this thing that looks like a giant elephant's foot.
Oh shit!
And what was happening is that people that were going in there to try and kind of de-radiate the area, they were getting so sick that it was literally like their skin was starting to deteriorate underneath their suits,
just peeling off.
Yeah, like like their suits were disintegrating going in, and that was like within the first couple years. Even still now, Chernobyl on the outskirts is still, you can go there, but going towards Elephant's Foot,
you can't be there. You can only be there for so long, and
it's not even that long. It's like literally like maybe the Elephant's Foot, you have 5 to 8 minutes.
Yeah,
and after that, you start to get.
I think they just started finding the first signs of like plants growing back, like vegetation actually growing back in that area.
It takes a long,
but you still can't live there.
Long time.
Side note: that is one of the dumbest creations we've invented. I don't care what nobody says. The nuclear fission, nuclear radiation, nuclear power.
Well, think about it like this, and I agree to disagree.
Yes, that's fair.
I understand the concept of Do you ever play that game, Civilization?
Yes.
The old PC game?
Something like it, yeah.
Relatively, where it's like you start off with man-made abilities, and the whole purpose and what humans tend to want to do to progress is they find different ways to alter power because oil is no longer efficient.
Supposedly, so but we still have gas-burning, fuel-burning cars. Move on.
To the extent, you saw how now that we're not pulling oil from a different location anymore, now it's in the States, gas has gone up so freaking high.
Well, yeah.
So it's more or less you're trying to find a way to, if you can't make things biodegradable and use that as fuel, the only other way is solar. And you can't pull
to an extent,
you can't pull from solar.
Yes.
So chemical, which would be nuclear, is the next best way, because nuclear, the equivalent of how long it's taken Chernobyl to be done being nuclear, is what it costs to have like one nuclear charge. So
and that's what I mean. We have no way of disposing of it.
There's no way. I
definitely get the benefits.
Yeah.
But
the pros and the cons save energy and money, but it's very, very bad.
We have no way of disposing of it. It has a half-life of a few hundred years. Okay, so
it sits.
Shit that we like the radioactive waste that we just obliterated Nagasaki and Hiroshima with. You know what I mean? That's just gonna sit there.
Oh well, that was different. That was more for war purposes.
Oh yeah,
they weren't using. I understand nuclear power when it comes to using it to progress evolution.
No, just because of the weight, the byproduct. Because like I said, we have no way of disposing of it, so we buried underground. And it's like, y'all, the earth absorbs everything. The earth is a big sponge. You know what I mean? Anything you put on the earth, it will absorb it, any type of liquid type material. Hell, even rocks. It's just crazy to me how we'll bury it underground, we just leave it there, and then we just move on like nothing ever happened. Yeah. But that's a different conversation for a different day. I'm definitely have big issues with that. But global warming, climate change have always been a hot button topic. And it's just because, if you want to fix the environment, unfortunately, you would have to stop everything, stop civilization the way it is, break it down, and rebuild it from scratch.
Which is true. You'd need a restart and a refresh, but with that comes having the time to reset and restart everything, and everybody's in a constant motion and a flux of not taking time. It'll never happen.
And that's what I mean.
Kind of like, with what we were saying, since we're kind of beating around the bush when it comes to it, we don't know what the causes of these wildfires are. And when Dee showed me the mapping of how it looks, I didn't know that. I just thought, monsoon season or what have you, that the reason why we're hitting such high humidity levels just in Nevada, because we're very dry here. So for it to be this humid and raining this frequently is very rare.
It's here and there.
So when you showed me that, it's literally surrounding, like, what is it, all the way up
that
Idaho?
Was just the U.S. I just showed
Idaho,
in the U.S.
Washington, going all the way on to California.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like the whole West Coast.
Yeah.
And Vegas is like in the middle.
Yeah, so we're getting surrounded with the centerpiece of that. And I was talking to my dad last night, more or less about, or what me and Dee were talking about here was how the water levels in Lake Mead fluctuated so low, to where now we're at 1,067 feet in depth. Within 2 years, we dropped down just 20 feet, which to me doesn't sound like a lot. But seeing how the outline is, how it looks like a chalk outlining of 20 feet in a span of 112 miles long, with just how long, like, I had to look that up, how far Lake Mead stretches. That's a lot of fucking water in 2 years. And the thing is that I had the same question that Dee had when he mentioned it, and I explained to him, it's like, why can't we just pull from the Colorado River? Because Lake Mead, we use it, California uses it, and Arizona uses it, and the Hoover Dam powers Nevada. So it just seems stupid to be pulling water from the same thing that we need our power from. But we have nowhere else to get the water from except for Colorado River. And when I talked to my pops about this, he made a point. He's like, well, you can't pull power from something that isn't stagnant. You need the source to pull from. The Colorado River.
It's got to be flowing.
Yeah, the Colorado River has Lake Mead sits in a stagnant, centered lake,
Yes.
and the Hoover Dam siphons it to turn it into power, to make it flow. Colorado is constantly flowing, so in order for you to get that power, you need another dam to be built.
Yeah.
And make the money. How much money did it cost to make the fucking Hoover Dam? And how long has it been around for?
It's probably trillions of dollars.
It's been around forever. They would have to get another $1 trillion+
Actually,
dollars.
it would be more now.
Yes,
because this
to
was
build,
built decades ago.
And the Colorado River's water flow is twice the size of what Lake Mead's is now. So
I mean, but if
it's
if
a
Lake Mead
possibility,
dries up,
we don't have a choice.
You know what I mean?
What
We
they
don't
were
have a choice.
saying and what my pops was saying is that all the underwater piping that goes from the dam to California and Arizona, they're going to shut those to where only Nevada is going to pull from it.
Yes.
Because we don't have a backup water source.
Right.
But there still isn't a bed. I don't know.
you still have to fix the problem.
Well, here's the thing. It's like from California, if we cut from them, where would they pull? Because they can't pull from the ocean.
No, you can. There are multiple
filtration for that.
filtration they've built.
It's the equivalent of like we go from guzzling water from a big bottle to where they would have to guzzle water from a straw.
Well,
because
so
this,
that
the
was
salt.
one of the things they've been working on. So you hear about people getting stranded in the ocean,
Yeah.
and like ships being stranded in the ocean, and they needed a way to filter the salt water to make it drinkable.
Did you remember that game Subnautica?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started playing that a couple months ago.
great
But
game.
yeah, so I remember you would build your base underwater and then you would get a filtration thing. And
Yes.
every time it filtrated water, it would
would get
filtrate
salt.
2 pieces of salt.
Yes.
Yeah, so the filtration time,
It's there.
it would just, California's so massive, they need water faster than straw
I mean,
size.
you live right on the ocean.
But you can't drink the water.
Exactly, until you filter it. So
would take
but
too long.
look at Lake Mead though.
They
Bro,
would need.
have
They
you-
would need. They would need to start filtering now.
So
before,
tell me this: if you go to Lake Mead, can you see the bottom?
Yes,
No, you can't.
Yes,
that
I
shit
can.
is murky as fuck.
I can see the bottom.
I should
of
know.
my
I
eyes.
almost drowned.
Yeah, you did. On Nelson's
I got
Landing.
to see what was down there.
I got down
I
there.
went down there. It's crazy because like you see that and you're like, well, how did they filter this garbage? Like I was telling Lynn, you have jet skis, you have boats, you have people in there pissing, doing whatever. They throw their alcohol, their trash. The boats they have the gasoline runoff from the engines and all of that. You have all of these chemicals and things in Lake Mead. So if they can filter that, you tell me we can't filter salt water?
Salt's different.
It's different, but it's still a filtration process.
It's true. It's true. I agree.
But like we said, it's one of those things where we're kind of looking ahead. Like, okay, if Lake Mead were to dry up, if this was no longer to become a viable source of energy, what else would we do? And it's like, I can't think of what else we would do because I'm so used to having what we already have.
It's
what I mean?
It's a change. Yeah,
We've
it's
grown
something
up with
that
it.
has to be adapted. But you're going to get a lot of people stopping a new process.
Yes,
People don't.
they're afraid of change.
Yeah, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and they're
You
afraid
do.
of change.
You
get
do.
very complacent in normality, and then when things need to adapt, people go into panic. Like, no, you can't take this from me. This is
Right.
what I normally have. I don't want to start filtering water from
Well,
California.
that's like
We're
with
even-
this food shortage stuff. It's like, okay, there's food shortage, but McDonald's is still open 24 hours. Jack in the
that
Box
shit
is
ain't-
still open.
because that shit ain't food.
Cane's is still selling food.
Still
you
ain't
hear about
food.
Subway?
Uh-uh.
They did a test on Subway's tuna and found out there is no tuna in their tuna.
What is it? What is it then? Is it-
Nobody knows. It's
That's
a mystery
gross.
meat.
I don't even fucking. I can't remember last time I ate Subway because Subway's.
It's been a minute.
It used to be good.
Yes.
And then it just kind of like they started
Because
making.
they have no competition.
No, yeah. Now it's just-
Quiznos and
Well, Quiznos went. I'm pretty sure they went out of business. 'Cause I
no.
don't,
Well, there's
I
like
don't know
one
if
or
there's any
two.
Quiznos in town.
There's one or two floating around.
But now
here.
you've got like Jimmy John's,
Yes.
Earl of Sandwich.
But see, and that's what I hated. Like you had Porter Subs and Subway, and they're like, we only make cold cuts, and it was like, why?
Yeah.
And then you got Quiznos, Jimmy John's, Five Guys?
No, it's a burger spot.
That's a burger spot. It was some other spot. And they started making like hot to serve sandwiches and subs. And then it was like all of a sudden Subway's like, oh yeah, we'll toast that for you.
Yeah, they started doing toasted.
Like,
and everything.
okay. But yeah, apparently their tuna,
That's
which I've never
disgusting.
eaten, thank God.
No, I haven't.
apparently has no actual real tuna. So they use tuna, was it like tuna?
Helper.
No, because even that has real tuna
Yeah.
sometimes. They have like a tuna replacement. So it's fish that can be classified as tuna.
That's fucking
They're
disgusting.
using substitutes, tuna substitutes.
Substitution tuna.
Yeah, this is what we're eating.
Tuna substitution.
But I say that because, like I was saying, if we had to rebuild the system, all of
it's
that's going to
doable.
go away. It has to go away.
There's so many different pockets of where all the money in our state is getting pulled.
Yes.
I don't even know where they would they need to take the time to invest into those things, but they
Yes.
don't see it an issue until we don't have it anymore.
And that's what I was talking about. Like in our last episode is like we're so reactive instead of proactive. We wait for the bomb to explode to react to it. But we knew 3 days ago the bomb was there, and yet we still were just like, okay, we'll just sing Kumbaya and dance around it and hope it doesn't go off. I don't know why we do that.
I don't know, and we don't have a say in otherwise until
Right. So we're putting it out there. Because we want, like we always say, we want you guys to stay informed, do your own research, learn about what's going on. No, I'm not going to become Greta Thunberg, but at the same time, like I've said before, I see where she's coming from.
Wait, what's it?
Greta Thunberg, the girl she's like a really young girl, and she was like, still kind of does. She's hooping and hollering about climate change and global warming. And we're gonna run out of resources.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. They even give her a documentary
yeah,
on.
She's whatever.
Yeah.
She's just a puppet, if you ask me.
She's character.
But it's one of those things where I get where they're coming from,
right?
And yeah, so if we run out of fossil fuels, then what? Elon Musk is making electric cars. Toyota, Ford, everybody's making electric cars.
He pioneered, and it's like. I don't mean to keep requoting Joe Rogan, but a lot of the people that I see that he brings on his episodes, I pay attention.
He brings on good people.
I pay attention to what these people have to offer because they're anomalies. Like they're people that come around once every so often.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this before. It's like if Elon Musk didn't exist, there would be another person that would be another Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Where he's here and to vitalize and use him for what he's here for.
Yeah.
Allow him to teach us ways to better use things. People are so I won't get a hybrid because I want to feel the throttle of a gas-powered car. And I was like, that does you no fucking good when you're spending $5 for gas on unleaded.
Well, so nowadays, even the electric cars, his was it the S-Type or whatever, the car? The electric cars have so much torque.
Yeah.
They can actually hold
the Teslas, yeah, because Rogan he had like a Type S, like he had a special edition Tesla that Musk made for him, and he said the horsepower on that thing is so ridiculous, it literally smokes all of his other gas-powered cars.
Because it's all torque.
Yes.
It's all torque on the front end.
Yes.
So you're just getting power off the line.
Which is what you need at that point. Unless you're trying to drag race in these things, it defeats the fucking purpose.
I think we're headed in the way of like, iRobot, was it AI? Great movie. Also Minority Report.
Minority Report, yeah.
Where it's like we're going to try and predict things.
Did you know what Musk was making is he's trying to make interface. It's like a little chip that you put behind your ear so that we could have a conversation.
We talked about that before.
We wouldn't have words, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that before where it's almost like I forget what it's called, but it's like a brain cap and it has nodes that they're making contact with your brain and they're reading your electric impulses. I'm sorry, they're reading your synaptic firing. The firing of your synapses in your brain, and it's translating it into either, like Lynn said, me and him can talk to each other because they would sync our brain wavelengths together. You could connect to the internet, search the web, operate your phone, turn on the lights in your house, turn on your AC, operate your car with a thought.
So pros and cons to that. What would be? I can't think of anything bad, but I know there'd be a way to.
Bad.
I'm sure there's ways to exploit it.
Lots of bad.
Good wise, like you said, it's going to make it to where people are very dependent on just their thought process to do things.
They're going to be dependent on technology.
They're not going to be physically. It's kind of like WALL-E, where they all sit in the chairs because they can control it.
They can do everything with either press of a button.
There's no physical acts.
You don't need to, and that's what I mean. Like, I love technology and what it's doing. Like, it's giving quadriplegics the ability to walk again. It's giving people who are blind or even colorblind the ability to see for the first times in their life.
I can see color too?
Things like that. Yeah, Lynn's colorblind.
I'm colorblind.
If you guys want to, you can get in those special glasses that allow him to see color.
Don't give me those retard glasses.
You can look like
I'm not trying to cry in public.
You can't say retard. That's offensive.
Oh, I mean, I don't give me those.
Gonna get us canceled.
Special needs glasses.
But like you see stuff like that and you're like, fuck yeah, technology, but then you see the robotic dogs that are patrolling the streets.
Oh, well, yeah,
They're
saw
already
that thing.
here.
But that was CGI based.
They're real.
There's a video of the army using those dogs that run.
Yes.
And they'll go and kick it and knock it over.
Yes.
And then it'll go out and start shooting and they'll kick it again and bounce it forward. It was all CGI. It was debunked.
It's real. I swear.
As far as it being active after being knocked over, it was debunked.
Yeah, some of them, but no, that was back then. Nowadays, these dogs are patrolling our streets.
Kind of like what was that movie? Not Yippee. What is it?
Chappie?
Chappie, yeah. Chappie, right?
That was a weird, sad,
but it's the same thing,
movie.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay.
These robots they already have robots that are learning to develop feelings. Mm-hmm. Was that in Love, Death, and Robots?
What?
There's this clip I saw.
Oh, wait, is it the first or the new season where it's the old lady? Have you seen that one?
with her dog?
With her dog
yes,
and the robot, the cleaning robot's like trying to kill them in the house.
The operator's telling her
what to do,
So I can't remember I think it's Love, Death, and Robots. This inventor, he's this really smart guy. He builds this box. Mm-hmm. And you're like, what is it about the box? And there's just this one hole in the box, and the box talks. He built this virginity machine.
What?
He built an AI that's literally built to be boing. So it's just a box.
I didn't know that.
And so the dude's like, he's like, I'll pay you. I just need to run some tests. I just need you to bang this box You know, I'll get the data, and then you're done. I'll pay you. So the dude goes in and he goes to do it, and then the box starts talking to him.
Ew.
It's a girl's voice, and she's like, hey, do you mind if we just, you know, get to know each other first? This is my first time. This is weird for me. You know, he's like, it's weird for me too.
Yeah.
And so it's like this whole back and forth.
What?
So then eventually he doesn't want to bang the box.
What season is that?
I don't know if it was Love, Death, and Robots, because I've been watching a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, no, that, I mean, I have to look and see, but it sounds like something that would be Love, Death, and
hilarious,
Robots.
but it's like, dude, technology is getting there. We're gonna have like some animatrix stuff where we have sex robots walking the street, and they're gonna have emotions and feelings. You know, to an extent, it's like, okay, you think of iRobot, and you're like, I would love, you know, if my elderly mother, grandparent had help. You know what I mean? A robot that could be there 24/7, blah blah blah. I get it. You know, you get in a car accident, like in the beginning of iRobot, you get in a car accident. Robot jumps in, saves everybody it can.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
that'd be kind of cool. I forgot about that.
You
That's
want
a good
to
movie.
see that type of future, but then you watch to the end of the movie. You know, you elaborate, and it's like technology with a flick of a switch can be turned against you.
Yes.
So you know, perfect example. I don't know if you saw Surrogates with Bruce Willis. It was kind of like The Matrix,
it sounds familiar.
Altered Carbon. It's kind of like Altered Carbon.
Yeah, Altered Carbon. Yeah, absolutely.
So Surrogates, you sit in this chair, you plug in. It's like The Matrix. You plug in, and you plug into a different body.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that does sound
called your
familiar.
surrogate.
Yeah, I remember seeing
And
that.
so people were getting hooked or wanting to live as their surrogates
So that's
instead of their real
that's the
selves.
same thing as Altered Carbon, where they were just pulling the brain stem and then re-chipping it after every
but
so
some
years.
people were like dying
because
they did not want to leave their surrogates. You know, almost like some Sword Art Online stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just when you ask me what does technology hold, benefit wise, it's boundless. You know what I mean?
There's always going to be pros and cons
what I mean?
to new things like that, which is understandable.
So you have to be
just
careful.
You have to outweigh what's worth and what isn't.
Because now we have our phones that can read your face and read your fingerprint, and it can recognize your voice.
Some of it's unnecessary.
Right.
Other times
just
it's
because
like,
we can doesn't mean that we should.
True.
All right. So, like I said, we're going to keep this short. Just wanted to throw some stuff that was, you know, like I said, caught our attention that we've been picking up on, I would say, over the course of the past few months, few weeks. And, you know, just throw that out there, see what you guys think about it. You know, a topic of conversation, things that make you go, you know. So go ahead, reach out to us. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Anchor, and projectairwaves.com. We'll put the links in the descriptions down below. All right. If you like what you're hearing, go ahead and listen to all of our past episodes. I'm D.
This is Lynn.
Go ahead and look at, you know, if you want, just if you're bored, if you're feeling a little depressed, go ahead and look up my sessions. I get a little ranty on there, but it's fun. You know, we can spend some time together, get to know each other. You know, I like you. You like me? I think you're cute. You know, we've been here 30 minutes and we're having a good time.
Oh God, you're getting weird. You're making love to that mic.
You want to
meet
up for a second date?
This isn't not Death Note. What the fuck?
Okay. All right.
We're done.
I'll give you my number.
Bye.
Call me.
Go away.
You did good.
You did real good.
Wait, we didn't do the outro.
What outro?
Keep your head in the clouds.
Keep your feet on the ground, moving forward. All right.
Signing out, guys. Project Airwaves. We'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye.
Deuces.